My daughter's dad and I have been saving equally for her future, but my son's dad has been spending for himself. Now he expects me to split my daughter's savings with our son so he doesn't grow up poor. Posted by u/ximc I have 2 kids, Alice, 12F, and Ben, 6M, with different dads. My ex, Alice's father, and I have a joint savings account where we've been depositing £10 per week each since I found out I was pregnant with her. After 13 years, at £20 a week between us, her account has £13,240 and is increasing by a little over £1,000 a year. When I found out I was pregnant with Ben, I created another savings account for him. Liam, his father, had a pre-existing savings account with a couple of £100 in it and thought he could build off that, so we have separate savings accounts for Ben. After 7 years, at £10 a week, the account I have for Ben has £3,610. If Liam were also contributing £10 a week, as Alice's dad is for her, Ben would have over £7,000. However, because Liam uses a separate account, I couldn't keep track in the same way as I could with Alice's account. Liam says the account for Ben that he controls only has a couple £100, so while our son should already have over £7,000 in savings, he has less than £4,000. It seems that not only has Liam consistently forgotten to put money in, but he's also withdrawn 2 amounts, one for half the cost of our son's school uniform and one for the cost of his football kit. The idea of these accounts is that the kids get them when they turn 18, untouched in the meantime, so they can use the funds to help with university, put money toward a car, use it for rent, or even buy something really impractical and expensive that they wouldn't otherwise be able to afford. I make a bit more than Liam, but not much. I could afford to mass deposit the missing money right now and tighten our belts next month, or I could double my contributions to Ben's account until the difference is made up, which would take about 7 years. Liam thinks I should add their total and then equally divide the amounts in both accounts between the kids or take what's missing from Alice's account. Liam says he can't afford to make up the difference himself right now and won't be able to contribute £20 a week for 7 years to make up the shortfall. We have shared savings, about £2,000 in an emergency fund, and a joint account for household expenses like food and bills. We could take money from the emergency fund, but that is meant for emergencies. It just doesn't seem fair that Alice has significantly more than Ben, but I'm unsure how to fix it without being unfair to her. Edit. Technically, Liam is my fiancé, not my husband, but we've been together for 7 years, lived together for as long, and are currently wedding planning. I make the most out of all the parents, followed by my fiancé, and then my ex, Alice's father. Taking money from Alice's account was never an option as far as I was concerned, but it's what Liam suggested. The wedding fund has about £2,000 in it. I thought it was less, but I just sat down and counted it all out. It's literally a jar of cash. I could put the wedding fund as it stands into Ben's account without having to touch the emergency savings. If I did that, Ben would be much closer to where he should be, and Liam would only have to double his contributions for a couple of years to make up the rest of the difference. Update 1 day later. I asked him again why he didn't have the money. He said he just didn't. I asked him to bring up his bank statement, payslip, or anything that could show how much money he had, bearing in mind he was last paid on the 28th, and today is the 30th, but he refused. I told him that if we were combining finances in any way, I should be able to see where his money is going. He responded that I wasn't showing him my financial information, so I pulled up my banking app to show him my own balance and transaction history. He then showed me his last statement, which his bank had emailed him today. We had a fight, and he's staying in a hotel tonight, which, it turns out, he can more than afford. He has nearly £60,000 in his personal current and savings accounts, presumably meant solely for himself. Essentially, after leading me to believe he had put aside £3,500 for our son, he admitted he had only allotted a few hundred. I had actually put aside the £3,500 to combine with his. Instead of admitting that he had nearly £60,000 at his disposal, he told me to take money from my daughter to give to our son. When I asked him what he thought he was doing, he replied that he didn't see the point of creating a savings account for our son to access when he turns 18, as our son is currently only 6. I explained the concept of saving up again, but he repeated that our son wouldn't need the money for years, so he didn't see the point of building it up for the past 7 years or for the next 11. I told him he could have just been honest with me 7 years ago instead of lying, and he could have told me the truth at any point in the last few days. Instead, I've been tearing my hair out over what to do to make it up to our son, and he has watched me struggle, dismissing me as dramatic and worrying over nothing. I cannot see us getting married after this, not ever. It's not just the trust issue but also the fact that, knowing he had nearly £60,000 in savings, he decided it was okay to guilt-trip me into taking money meant for my daughter to fix his mistake. The wedding is 100% off. I don't see myself forgiving him anytime soon, but we have a son to think about. If nothing else, I'm going to have to figure out how to co-parent with him. Commenter. I just need to know about the look on this guy's face when he showed you his bank accounts. I need to know if this piece of crap had 1 ounce of remorse, an explanation, or the decency to look ashamed of himself. I don't understand how a person can lie so thoroughly and for so long. That's world-class sociopathy. I wouldn't let my kids near a person capable of that level of deceit. Ops response. He didn't do any of that. He looked a bit put off. Just sort of like he realized it was over. But then he tried to justify it, saying that our son was just going to piss it away once he was an adult.